Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into some stories that, well, they really defy easy answers. We've gathered a collection of genuinely bizarre, honestly disturbing accounts from different corners of the U.S. And our goal isn't just to retell these tales, but to look at them as maybe glimpses into the inexplicable, things that challenge how we think reality works.
It's fascinating stuff.
We've got some unsettling material today. It stretches from seemingly quiet suburbs in North Carolina to the deep woods of Vermont and Michigan, even a really chilling one from Oklahoma. What ties them together, really, are the questions they leave you with, that nagging feeling that maybe some things just can't be explained away.
Exactly. And it's quite remarkable how these events, so different on the surface, kind of weave together this tapestry of the unexplained. It taps right into that human fascination with mystery, doesn't it? And maybe the edges of what we can actually perceive.
It really does. Okay, so let's start in Asheville, North Carolina. This one comes from someone who, about 4 years back, was having a rough time. Just went through a breakup, couldn't sleep much.
Right.
So they're walking late at night in a local park, and they hear this soft whimpering. Finds a black lab huddled under a tree, lost. They ended up naming him Scooby. And apparently there was this immediate connection. The dog seemed desperate for a friend, and, well, the narrator was lonely too.
A classic kind of rescue story beginning.
Yeah, exactly. But they did try to find the owner, put up flyers, reported him missing, everything. Nothing. No one came forward.
Yeah.
So Scooby became their dog. But here's where it gets weird. Scooby had this thing. On their morning walks, every time they passed this one specific house, he'd just freeze.
Freeze how?
Like plant his paws, start crying, whimpering, not trying to go to the house, more like afraid, but unable to look away. The narrator described it as like a human who can't look away from a deadly accident.
Wow. Intense.
Yeah, it took like 10 minutes just to coax him past it.
Yeah.
Eventually, the narrator just started taking a different route altogether, avoided the whole situation.
Makes sense.
But then, about 6 months later, they had to run an early errand. Took them right past that house again. Narrator forgot about Scooby's reaction for a second, just brought him along. Scooby didn't forget, though. He locked up instantly, whimpering really loud, staring at the house. And then just boom, bolted, pulled the leash clean out of the narrator's hand, shot around the corner into the backyard.
Oh, boy.
So the narrator's embarrassed, runs after him, thinking, maybe a squirrel, a cat, something normal.
Right.
But no, they get back there, and Scooby is just digging like crazy, frantically digging a hole in the grass. Never done anything like it before.
Let's leave us hanging.
And he unearths a body, a largely decomposed corpse of a man, about 32 years old. Shallow grave right there in the garden.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Police determined he'd been there roughly as long as the narrator had Scooby. 6 months. They called the authorities immediately, of course. An investigation kicked off. It's just, the dog's persistence is unbelievable.
Absolutely. But then the questions really start mounting. Who was this man? Who lived in that house?
Exactly. What did the police find out about these people? Jim in Charlotte.
Right. And this is where it gets even stranger, if that's possible. The house was a rental. The dead man and his girlfriend, known only as Jim and Charlotte to the neighbors.
Wow.
Those names were completely fake.
Fake identities.
Totally fake.
Yeah.
Everything about them seemed to be a lie. Police couldn't track down Charlotte. She's the prime suspect, naturally, but they don't know if she fled or if maybe she became a victim herself somewhere else.
Wow.
What's so striking is Scooby's instinct, intuition, whatever you want to call it. It seemed to bypass all the usual investigation methods. Like he was this silent witness all along.
A four-legged witness. That is genuinely chilling. And wasn't there something else? Something about the rent?
Yes. Perhaps the most baffling detail. The rent for the house. It kept being paid in cash.
Yeah.
Sent through the mail, addressed from Jim.
After he was dead.
For 6 months after he was dead, while the house sat empty. Who was sending that money and why?
Yep.
That question hangs there, completely unanswered.
It's just baffling. So what happened with Scooby? He's still with the narrator. Apparently, he still whimpers a bit when they pass the house, but he doesn't do the freezing and staring thing anymore. The narrator thinks maybe he found some kind of closure, knowing he didn't leave his old owner buried there.
Closure for the dog, maybe, but not for the case.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Police haven't released everything, and the case is officially still open, just out there.
Okay.
All right, so from that quiet suburban mystery, let's shift gears. We're heading into the deep woods of Vermont now, a place often seen as quaint, but its southern region, the Bennington Triangle. that has a seriously unsettling reputation.
I've heard of it. Disappearances, strange phenomena.
Exactly. Even local Native American tribes historically avoided the area, believed it was cursed. This next story happens right on the edge of Glastonbury Mountain, one corner of that triangle, back in the summer of 1980. It's a birthday party at the grandparents' house for the narrator's baby sister. The mother needs a big cutting board for the cake, goes down to the dimly lit basement to look.
Okay, standard party prep.
She finds this box, thinks it's just a sturdy box, maybe for games.
Yeah.
Opens it up, it's a brand new Ouija board.
The classic setup.
Right. But she thinks, hey, this board itself is pretty solid, good size. So she gets this idea. Wraps the whole board carefully in tinfoil, hiding all the letters and numbers, and uses it as a cake platter.
Oh boy. Using a Ouija board as a cake tray at a kid's party in the Bennington Triangle. What could possibly go wrong?
You can see where this might be heading.
Yeah.
So the party's going, candles are lit. The father, Steve, big guy, former Marine, Vietnam vet, 6'2". He's trying to take a picture with his Polaroid. Red light flashes, needs batteries. He says, be right back, runs upstairs to grab some. The second he leaves the room, the weather just flips. 1 minute, bright sun. The next, this weird whispering breeze kicks up, dark clouds roll in instantly. Everyone decides, okay, let's move this party inside.
That.
Instantly. So they're just getting settled indoors when they hear this awful scream from upstairs, a really loud one. It's Steve. The mother bolts upstairs, finds him face down near the landing. Semi-conscious. He mumbles something about tripping. But she looks around the floor as spotless. Nothing to trip on.
Okay.
Then he starts contorting, twisting his shoulders back, crying out, oh God, it burns, it burns, clawing at his shirt like he's in agony.
Burns? What was burning?
That's what the mother wondered. She helps him get his shirt off, and that's when she sees it.
Sees what?
Between his shoulder blades. A large, perfectly clear red boot print. Size 12 or 14, she estimated, with visible tread marks.
A boot print appearing on his skin.
Her first thought, bizarrely, was spider bite. But then, what kind of spider bite leaves tread marks? It looked exactly like someone had tried to kick him hard down the stairs.
An invisible assailant. That's certainly the implication. Some kind of unseen force. And here's the kicker. No pun intended. As soon as he was fully upright, standing properly, the mark just faded, disappeared completely, gone.
Vanished. Just like that. That's physically impossible. What do you even make of that? Is there anything that comes close?
I mean, it's incredibly strange, extremely rare. It defies easy categorization. Poltergeist activity is maybe the closest parallel people draw, but even then, a distinct boot print. It suggests something targeted, something physical, yet unseen.
And the parents.
Yeah.
How did they react long term?
Well, remarkably, they kept it together at the time. Didn't freak out in front of everyone, and they kept it secret, didn't even tell the grandparents until years later, after they'd passed away, which really shows you how deeply these things can affect people, how personal and terrifying they are.
But it didn't end there, did it? There was something later, with the photo.
Ah, yes, the Polaroid. Years later, the narrator and their sister are older, looking through old photo albums with their mom. They find the picture Steve took right before he went upstairs for batteries.
Okay.
And now, in the photo, kind of faded, but definitely there, standing behind the grandmother holding the baby sister, is the silhouette of a tall man.
No.
Yes. Hands outstretched, like he's about to grab them. Chills. Actual chills.
The mother had never noticed it before.
Oh.
She saw it, went pale, took the photo out of the album right then and there. Later that night, she took it outside and burned it in the trash barrel.
Wow. Wow. The Ouija board platter, the boot print, the photo. It's a cascade of high strangeness.
Absolutely terrifying. Okay, let's jump forward in time again, 1997. And we're heading to Michigan, near the Manistee River. This one involves some local folklore. Narrator gets a late call from his girlfriend. She sounds really shaken up. Says she thinks she saw, and she phrased it like this. Some kind of wolf walking by my window? Like a werewolf or something?
A werewolf. Okay, immediate skepticism alert.
Totally. The narrator thought the same, figured she'd just watched a scary movie or something. But, good boyfriend duty calls. Her house was pretty isolated, deep in the woods. So he gets in his truck and drives over there.
Right.
He pulls into her driveway. Headlights sweep across the front of the house. And bam, there it is. Crouched down in a bush right by her front door. What looks like a massive dog's head.
Just the head.
At first, staring right at him. With these crazed orange eyes.
Orange eyes. That's a common detail in these kinds of reports.
And then it stands up on two legs. The narrator swears it looked human-like in its body shape, but covered in thick matted hair, scratch marks all over it, and tall, much taller than any man.
Okay, that's not a normal wolf. Or a bear, really.
Definitely not. My first thought hearing this was, okay, bear standing up, maybe someone in a suit trying to scare her. What pushes this beyond misidentification?
That's always the critical question. But with the Dogman reports, especially in Michigan, you get this consistency. The description, tall, canine head, bipedal, often aggressive, and the behavior. Charging the truck, like you said this one did, that's not typical bear behavior, and it's a risky move for a prankster in the middle of nowhere.
Right, because this thing charged his truck. Came right at him.
What did you do?
Instinct took over. He slammed on the horn and stomped on the gas, drove right towards it, didn't even think.
Fight or flight kicked in hard.
Totally. But the creature didn't, stand its ground. As his tire spun on the gravel, it just darted left super fast and vanished into the trees. Gone.
Wow.
He didn't wait.
Go.
Adrenaline pumping, he jumps out, runs to her door, starts banging on it. She opens the door smiling, totally calm. Completely unaware this thing was apparently hiding right outside her door moments before.
She didn't know it was still there.
No. She told him that after she first saw the shape go past her window, she heard these weird whimpering sounds outside the front door.
Whoa.
Like a dog crying to be let back inside.
Creepy.
Yeah. That's why she didn't just fling the door open when he arrived. She waited until she heard his voice. So then he tells her what he just saw, this massive creature charging his truck. Her face just changed, went completely white.
I bet. That confirmation must have been terrifying. And this fits the pattern. It's not just a fleeting glimpse. It often escalates. This connects directly to the Michigan Dogman legend. Numerous sightings reported over decades in that specific region. These encounters, they stick with people. They profoundly impact those who experience them, often turning lifelong skeptics into believers.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened here. The narrator said after that night, seeing it charging him, he absolutely believed. He had his own Dogman story now.
Understandable.
Okay, next up we're going south. DeSoto Forest, Mississippi, back in 1985. Two friends, James and the narrator, decide to go camping, like deep woods camping.
All right, setting the scene.
Pretty far in, haven't seen another soul for ages. Then they run into these four guys, young guys, aggressive vibe. The narrator described them as lowlifes and mouth breathers. Kind of hillbilly look, big guys.
Uh-oh.
Immediately, they start hassling James and the narrator, insulting them, spitting near them. The friends were smaller, outnumbered. They just kept their heads down and walked on, didn't say anything, too scared.
Smart move, probably.
You'd think. So later that night, they've set up their tent, trying to sleep. Narrator wakes up to noises outside. Muffled, talking, whispering, and then laughter. Human laughter, right outside the tent.
Oh, not animals. Them.
It was them. James saw their silhouettes against the tent wall in the dark. And then thwack, an arrow punches right through the tent fabric.
An arrow.
Yeah, sticks in the ground just inches from the narrator's head. And they hear the guys outside howling like wolves, shouting, "Hit him again!"
This is beyond harassment. This is assault, attempted murder, potentially.
Absolutely terrifying. They knew these guys were serious. I mean, can you even imagine running blindly through pitch black woods, people howling like animals behind you, shooting arrows? That's pure nightmare fuel. How do you even function?
Pure terror, primal fear.
James and the narrator just ripped the tent open, left everything, sleeping bags, gear, everything, and just ran. Sprinting into the total darkness, completely disoriented, hearing those howls behind them. Pursued.
Oh, God.
They ran until James basically tackled the narrator, threw him into this little ditch or gully. They just huddled there, hidden, for hours, listening. Didn't know if the guys were still looking, how close they were. Just waited until the sun started to come up.
Waiting for daylight must have felt like an eternity.
Had to. When it was finally light enough to see, they cautiously made their way back towards where they'd parked James's car. And the car. It was completely destroyed. Tires slashed, doors pried open. The inside was ripped apart, gutted. Looks like they even defecated inside. The outside was scratched all over, dented, holes punched in it, just totally trashed.
Vindictive. Brutal.
They had to hike out and managed to flag someone down, hitch a ride back to town to report it.
And the authorities, what did they say? Well, this raises a chilling question, doesn't it? What happens when that kind of human cruelty gets unleashed in such an isolated place? The police were concerned, definitely took it seriously. But they also weren't entirely surprised.
They knew about these guys.
They'd had reports before about a violent group harassing people in those woods. Nothing this extreme, apparently, but they were known. The police even went back to the campsite area and found another arrow stuck in a tree near where James and the narrator had run off into the forest, proof they kept shooting after them as they fled.
So they knew these dangerous people were out there, but they were still out there.
It seems so. It highlights that unsettling reality. Sometimes these pockets of danger exist, known to authorities maybe, but hard to pin down, hard to stop until something truly awful happens. The psychological impact of knowing you were hunted like that.
Yeah. The narrator said neither he nor James ever went camping again. Ever. And they never found out if those 4 guys were caught.
I can understand why they wouldn't go back.
Definitely. Okay, one last story. And this one's deeply disturbing. Comes from a first responder in Oklahoma. It happened a few years ago. Definitely not for the faint of heart.
Okay, bracing myself.
Call comes in, hit and run, cyclists involved. They get to the scene. It's bad, really bad. Man lying in the road, mangled, no helmet, obvious severe head trauma, broken limbs everywhere, long smear of blood on the asphalt where he'd slid.
Horrific scene.
His face, the responder said his face was basically gone, skin torn away, just catastrophic injuries. The responder checks for a pulse, knows immediately it's futile, confirms no pulse. The man is clearly deceased. DOA.
Tragic. Standard procedure from there, presumably. Secure the scene, wait for coroner.
That's what should have happened. But then the responder's partner, who's standing looking sort of behind the first responder, just gasps, eyes wide with pure shock, pointing.
Pointing at what?
Pointing at the dead man, because he was standing up.
Standing, the man with no pulse and catastrophic head injuries.
Standing. Despite, as the responder described it, his head being split open and his face essentially gone. The only thing that looked recognizably human were 2 wide, white eyes staring out, looking confused.
This doesn't make any sense.
None. And before anyone could process this impossibility, could even react, the man just bolts. Takes off running away from the road, full speed, into the woods nearby.
Running. With those injuries, how is that even possible? It isn't. Medically, physiologically, it's impossible. The extent of the described injuries, fatal head trauma, no pulse confirmed, mangled limbs, missing facial structure precludes standing, let alone running at full speed. It completely defies biological reality.
Could it be like extreme adrenaline, some weird brain damage thing?
You could try to stretch explanations like extreme shock, adrenaline causing some bizarre post-mortem spasm, or maybe a dissociative state from brain injury, but none of that truly accounts for coordinated running at full speed, followed by a complete disappearance. That combination, the impossible action and the vanishing, is what makes this so profoundly baffling. It's a perfect storm of the unexplained. Trauma, impossible recovery, vanishing act.
So what happened? Did they find him in the woods? Do you show up at a hospital? Anything?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. They searched the woods, no body, no trace. No hospitals reported anyone with those kinds of injuries checking in. No missing person report matching his description was ever filed by family or friends. He just ceased to exist.
Gone after getting up from being dead and running off.
Precisely. A complete and utter vanishing act following an event that shouldn't have been possible.
The first responder. They were just stunned, right?
Right.
How do you reconcile seeing that? Completely bewildered. Said it gave them the shock of their life. Still thinks about it constantly. Where did he go? How did he do that? Was he even human? Just unanswerable questions left by an impossible event.
Leaving an indelible mark on the witness.
For sure. So these accounts we've covered, from Scooby finding that grave in North Carolina, the Vermont birthday party incident, the Dogman, the terror in the woods, and this vanishing cyclist in Oklahoma. They really do pull back the curtain on something unsettling, don't they?
They absolutely do.
These aren't just campfire tales. They feel like real moments where the familiar world just fractured, shattering our sense of safety or reality or what's even possible.
And it forces us to confront that uncomfortable truth. Maybe we don't have all the answers. In a world where some things seem determined to remain out of reach, it really makes you question, how do we even process events that defy our understanding? What does that gap say about the limits of our own knowledge?
That's the core question, isn't it? Well, thank you for joining us on this pretty unsettling deep dives today. It makes you think maybe the scariest stories aren't the ones made up for movies. Maybe they're the quiet ones that happen in ordinary places, leaving behind nothing but questions. Yeah. And that cold possibility of something truly inexplicable just under the surface.
A chilling thought to end on.
Indeed. Thank you for listening. Until next time, stay curious and maybe keep the lights on tonight. Stay a little bit spooky.